Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Alexey, and in our today's video I wanna show you a quick tip on mixing virtual drums library, in this case Hertz drums, with original drums audio tracks. In this case we're gonna be using samples from Hertz drums to blend to our original drums audio tracks. First of all, let's have a listen to our real drums. Our real drums sound good, but we want to make our real drums sound bigger and wider, so in this case we want to use some drum samples. And let's say we want to use some drum samples to blend to our original drums audio tracks from Hertz drums. First of all, we need to prepare some MIDI files and how to create MIDI files out of audio tracks. So in this case, let's say we want to create a MIDI file out of our kick audio track. And here on our kick audio track we're going to be using Slate Trigger 2. Now if we solo our kick audio track with Slate Trigger 2 on, we won't hear any sound. We cannot hear any sound because we are not using any samples here. But if you take a look at MIDI capture here, you can see drag on track is on. So it means when we are playing our kick audio track with Slate Trigger 2 on. So Slate Trigger 2 is creating a MIDI file out of our kick audio file. Now let's play our kick audio file from start to end to create a full MIDI file out of our audio track. Now we need to create a new instrument track. So in Studio One, first of all we have to hit this plus sign. And now we have to choose instrument and we can name it Kick MIDI. And now let's hit OK to create our Kick MIDI instrument track. So here we have created our Kick MIDI instrument track. And right now from our Slate Trigger 2 we can drag and drop our MIDI file we have created out of our kick audio file to our kick MIDI file we just have created right now. Now let's open our kick MIDI file. Now as you can see we have some MIDI data we can use for our kick MIDI. Now let's go to our Studio One mixer again. And again let's use Slate Trigger 2 on our snare. Now by using Slate Trigger 2 we're going to be creating a MIDI file out of our snare audio file. Now let's create a new MIDI file in Studio One. Again we have to hit this plus sign and here we can name our instrument track as Snare MIDI. Now let's hit OK to create our snare MIDI file. Now when we have created our snare MIDI file, we can drag and drop our MIDI data from Slate Trigger 2 to our snare MIDI file. And now let's open our MIDI file. And here, as you can see, again we have some MIDI data we can use for our snare MIDI. Now for our kick MIDI and our snare MIDI, we have to use some virtual drums library. And in this case, we're going to be using Hertz drums. So let's open our browser in Studio One and let's drag and drop Hertz drums to our kick MIDI and to our snare MIDI. So now we can use samples from Hertz drums for our kick MIDI and for our snare MIDI to blend to our real drums. Now let's have a listen to our kick MIDI and snare MIDI files with our Hertz drums on. Now let's open our Hertz drums on our kick MIDI. Here we can see the whole drum kit, but we want to use only kick for our kick MIDI as sample. So the question is how to clean our whole drum kit and how to use only kick sample for our kick MIDI. To clean our drum kit from samples, we have to go here, and here we should choose clear preset. Now we don't have any samples on our drum kit. Then we have to go to our sampler menu, and here in our group selection menu we have to choose kick. And now we can load any sample for our kick. So first of all we have to choose a kick sample. Let's choose our first one. And then we have to press load instrument here. And now to reduce pressure on our CPU, we can work only with our kick sample in our Hertz drums. Now let's say you want to use your own drum samples. So first of all in our group selection we have to choose sampler. And here we can load our own samples. So in this case let's choose direct and let's load any drum sample. Now let's have a listen to our kick MIDI. So again, to reduce pressure on our CPU, we can choose one drum sample for our kick instrument in our Hertz drums. Now let's go to our snare MIDI. Here again we have the whole kit with a lot of samples. And in this case we want to use only snare as instrument, and we want to use samples for our snare only. Again, let's go to our main menu, and again let's hit clear preset. Now let's go to our sampler menu. From our group selection, let's choose snare. Now let's have a listen to our snare samples in our Hertz drums. Let's choose the first one. And now let's hit load instrument. So now we can work with our snare sample only, which will help us to reduce pressure on our CPU. Again, if you want to use your own snare samples, in our group selection menu, you have to choose sampler. And here you can load your own snare samples. But in this case, let's stick with our Hertz drums snare sample. Now let's have a listen to our real drums with our kick and MIDI samples we're using in our Hertz drums. So again, if you want to make your real drum sound bigger, you can use samples from Hertz drums. Or you can use your own drum samples in Hertz drums, and by using clear preset in our main menu, we can clear our Hertz drums kit, and we can use only single instruments we want to use to make our real drums sound bigger. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video will be useful for you. If you want to try or buy Hertz drums, the link will be in the info box of this video. and see you next time.